So you want to start self-filming your hunts? Well, let's talk about how difficult it is. Let's talk about how expensive it is. And let's just finally decide if it's something that you really want to do. All right, so when it comes to self-filming, like one of the very first things that come to mind, obviously, is camera gear. What do you need? What brand? What style? What tier? You know, all these things come into play. Do you want a DSLR and you want to have a couple of different other lenses, or do you want, just a camcorder style camera with a good shotgun mic? Do you just want a GoPro or some sort of action camera? You know, what do you want? What do you need? You know, guys, here's the truth of the matter. Everybody is different. Everybody has their own opinions, and you can get on YouTube right now after this video, and you can go look it up for yourself. You're going to hear people say, oh, Nikon or die, Canon or die, what other name brand, it's got to be this make, model, it's got to be no less than this many years old, and blah, blah, blah. You're going to get so many different answers. It's crazy. And the truth of the matter is the best way to figure out what works for you is to, unfortunately, spend the money. But let me tell you something right now that I so badly wish somebody would have told me when I got started self-filming. Don't spend $3,200 on your very first camera. You're going to drop it. You're going to knock it over. You're going to sink it into the bottom of a lake, and it's going to sit there for 2.5 hours while you're trying to fish it out, and you finally get it out, and you get to keep the footage. You get to pull the footage off the card and everything, and that's great, but the camera is nothing now but a $3,200 paperweight. I wish somebody would have told me that from the very get-go, because that's actually what happened to me. So, got a really nice, good, expensive camera, brand new. Didn't have any kind of insurance or any kind of warranty or anything like that. Well, I did have a warranty on it, but it did not cover being sunk down to the bottom of a lake for some reason. But anyways.
I can't imagine why.
But anyways, nevertheless, guys, this is what I'm going to say. If your budget is $5,000 for a camera, you need to take about $800 of that to spend on your first camera. I wouldn't spend any more than $1,000 on your very first camera. Honestly, there's a lot of really decent small cameras. I should have pulled them out for this. I didn't think about it, but there's a lot of decent small cameras that you can buy for $400 and $500. I am a fan of Canon, just saying, but nevertheless, I don't care if you go Nikon or whatever other name brand, it doesn't matter. But if you getting started, if you wanted to, look into like the Canon G series, or the Vixia, something like that, you know, something that's going to be well below $800 unless it's coming in with some kind of kit. And in that case, it might bump up. Kits might have extra batteries, lens covers, different lens filters, maybe a tripod, maybe a shotgun mic, things like that. But regardless, but in my opinion, if you're going to start self-filming, start out with a cheap camera. Just get you a camcorder. This is so much easier. Autofocus, auto stabilization, shoots up to 4K, has slow motion, 20 times optical zoom. It's really perfect for what I do here in Oklahoma. I really don't need a whole lot more than that. This DSLR is great, but for self-filming, it really sucks. Now, granted, they do make a little bit more upgraded DSLRs than this.
Don't make fun of my old DSLR here.
Anyways, but, you know, to zoom in, I really need to put both hands on it. Even if it's on a tripod, I really need to put both hands on it to zoom in. And then it does have autofocus, where I can just like half hold the button and it'll focus it. But when you're trying to do all that and pull up your bow at the same time when a nice buck's walking in and you're trying to juggle the bow, and you might can see where that would be a hassle. Just get you a camcorder. That's just my opinion. I'm not a pro. Don't take what I say as gospel, but take the last 7 years of experience as that experience. All right. So, of course, if you do get a DSLR, you're going to want different lenses for super close stuff like intros and outros. I use my macro. My 24 millimeter. I call it my macro. Sorry. But anyways, and then, you know, like this, I call it my mid-range. I think it's a 18 to 55. Yeah, 18 to 55 millimeter. And of course, this is the biggest lens that I need for my DSLR. I don't need for anything that I do bigger than this. It's a 75 to 300 millimeter lens. That's what I'm saying. You can get all this stuff with a DSLR and feel official and feel fancy and feel professional, right?
Nice.
Or you can have a lot more fun and just get everything you need right here. Just saying. But once again, don't spend a lot of money on your first camera. Anyways, okay, so you've got DSLR style cameras, you've got camcorder style cameras, then you also have GoPros or action cams and equivalents, stuff like that. Honestly, the GoPros are amazing nowadays, but I will say the Akasal, for what we do, granted, we're not some big shots on the outdoor channel, right? We're here on YouTube and on Facebook. But for what we do, the Akasals work just fine, and they are like really cheap. They actually work really well. I say just fine. They actually work really well. That's just my opinion. Don't spend a lot of money on a great, big, elaborate setup. Spend a little bit of money. Make sure you're going to like this thing first, because you might find out that you hate self-filming. Man, I wish somebody would have told me that when I first started self-filming. Not that I hate self-filming. I love it.
I love it.
I wish somebody would have told me to save my money. I'm not going to say how much money I have wrapped up in this between computers and camera gear and studio and lights and backdrops and everything else. Not even going to talk about it. But what I am going to talk about next is tripods. And I'm going to tell you what, if you're going to get, any kind of camera, you're going to want tripods. So tripods like this work really well for your secondary cameras or your backup cameras, or action cameras, I should say. This will hold my GoPro. In all honesty, it'll hold my cell phone. As you can see, I got a cell phone clip here. And let me tell you that let me turn down my audio here. Sorry, guys. This little tripod, I think I bought it for $18, maybe $20. The legs bend so I can wrap it around trees and everything else. I can have this propped up however I need it propped up, facing me, so that, I have whatever I need right there. I don't have to have another smaller tripod in the tree stand with me or in the ground blind with me. I can take this with me anywhere. It fits into my pocket. Actually, usually I just loop it around my belt and just hang it off my belt like that. But anyways, but for your bigger cameras, I'm going to suggest a nice tripod. If you're going to spend a little bit of money on something, I would recommend spending a little bit of money on a good tripod. A good tripod would have saved me a $3,200 camera. But I bought a cheap, no offense towards Walmart, I bought a cheap Walmart tripod, and my $3,200 camera went swimming. If you're going to spend a lot of money on a camera, you might as well spend a lot of money on a tripod. It's kind of like taxidermy. Why in the world would you shoot an awesome deer and spend money on feeders, cameras, plots, fuel, ammo, guns, camo, and then try to skimp out on the lowest taxidermist you can find, the cheapest taxidermist you can find? To me, it's just silly and it doesn't make sense. Get you a good tripod with a good fluid head that locks. Hear me. This is experience. This is 7 years of experience talking. That locks your foot, or it locks the foot that connects to the camera. It locks it into this so that if your tripod does tip over, your camera's not going off the side of a boat to the bottom of a lake. Get you a good tripod with a good fluid head. That is my biggest pet peeve. That's going to be the one thing that I say spend money on. That in particular tripod, I believe it was $175. As long as I can still find it, as long as they're still selling it, I will try to go find it, and I'll try to either put a picture here of it, or I'll put it down in the link to it down below. But anyways, nevertheless, I think it was like $175. But the next thing you want to think about, in my opinion, is going to be audio. Good crystal clear audio will set you aside if you're really trying to be competitive with your filming and you're trying to stand out among the crowd. Good audio is going to do you, well, a lot of good. So shotgun mics like I have here. Guys, listen. I know. Okay. Now, some of you people that don't know anything about microphones and recording and all that, you may not know. But for those of you that do, I know you don't have to leave a comment down below, but I hope you do. Get you a good shotgun mic. Rode video microphones are usually really budget friendly. That one's a Sony, but it's a different type of mic. But anyways, but Rode video microphones, great budget friendly microphones. Yeah, you can spend a little bit of money on them, but I'm gonna be honest. I believe this one was $47 on Amazon, and this is a bad to the bone microphone. Does very good on picking up quiet audio or sensitive audio. Excellent. But one thing that I recommend is getting an external microphone. Excuse me, I say external. I should say a totally separate microphone, such as a lavalier. So you have your shotgun mic on your camera that's picking up the audio from around the camera, around you. Maybe if it's even hearing you and all that. But I recommend getting you a good lavalier. This just goes into your pocket or clips onto your belt loop, and you put the microphone right there. You can see it right there onto your shirt right here. And even when you're whispering so quiet that that shotgun mic can't hear you, the lavalier will. And it records separately on its own SD cards. You can get the ones that connect to your camera, but I love this. It's so simple, so easy, and so worth it. The next thing I'm going to say that you want to worry about, especially if you want to keep your camera gear nice, presentable, clean, functional, not blurry footage and everything else like that, I'd recommend spending $17, maybe $27. I think it was $17. But anyways, and just get you a decent cleaning kit. Yeah. Get you a decent cleaning kit so you can clean your lenses, your displays, any moving parts of your camera, all your jacks, like right here, right. So you can keep all that stuff good and clean and functional and working
properly.
Right? Such a big deal. A good clean, if you keep a good clean camera, it'll last longer. It's just like a vehicle. You keep your vehicle good and maintenance, typically speaking, unless you drive a Chevy. Just kidding. It will typically last you longer than a vehicle that's not well maintained. Same thing with camera gear. Okay, so I've got two more things that I want to talk about. The next thing, the most, I think, is going to be one of the next most important things that you really need to think about is your editing software. What are you going to be using while editing your stuff? Do I need to be using Premiere Pro? Do I need to be Photoshop, Movavi Video Editor? What is it that I need to use? Let me tell you what, especially if you're starting out, use the free crap that you can download to your computer, to your laptop, or to your phone. I'm going to tell you that's exactly where we started a little over 7 years ago, was with YouCut Editor, which is actually a pretty decent editor, especially considering it's free. I mean, yeah, they have a pro plan, but their free plan is really pretty decent. I had it on my laptop and my cell phone, and when we first started, that's how I edited all of our content, was on my cell phone. I took the SD card out of my camera, put it into my cell phone, and started editing everything right there. I'll leave a link for it down in the description below. YouCut Editor. Guys, there's so many free editors out there, and a lot of these cell phones nowadays come with some sort of editor. Work with that before you spend the money on all these other softwares and programs and everything else, right? Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, a lot of these other... I had this in particular computer specialty built, specialty made. You can't go buy this computer. You have to buy the parts and put it all together. I had this computer specifically built just to run all my different editing softwares. Now, I know that's crazy. John, why do you have so many different editing softwares? Well, I don't just film hunts. I don't just film fishing trips. I do a lot of other stuff on the side that I need it for. But nevertheless, when I did start using these other editing softwares that I do use now to edit my hunts, they were causing my old computer and my laptop to completely lag out to the point to where it would just go to a black screen and shut down. So they are big RAM hogs, some of these other editing softwares. So just start out with the free stuff and make sure that you're going to like self-filming. Make sure that you're going to like editing first, right? Before you start dropping a whole lot of money on really crazy expensive equipment. All right, guys, the last bit of information that I'm going to throw at you right here, right now, is something that every person that's wanting to get started into self-filming should do. And I don't care if your budget is 10 grand, 20 grand, or 30 grand. I don't care if it's 100 grand. You've got something that you're probably watching this video on right now in your hand, which is your cell phone, that you need to start filming your hunts with. If you think you're going to want to do it, start filming it with your cell phone. It is the absolute cheapest way because just about everybody has a newer cell phone that has a decent camera on it. Check out this video of a hunt that I did just this morning, and this is all done on cell phone.
All right, so I'm coming to set out cameras, and of course, there's a group of hogs out here. I don't have my actual video camera. All I have is my cell phone. I don't have a tripod or nothing. So I'm gonna try to make this happen. I've got my rifle. Here we go. See if y'all can see the pigs. Let's go see if we can kill one. Spotted one, but I think I'm gonna go for the one in the middle. Oh, okay. Nest Raider down.
Cell phones have come a long way since they first started putting cameras in them and having, smartphone came out and all that, right? They have come a long ways, and honestly, a lot of these newer cell phones nowadays have just as good as a camera built into it as something, say, like the Canon, like the HF, the Vixia HF, whatever. I call them soccer mom cameras. There's nothing wrong with them, but nevertheless, the truth of the matter is your cell phone does pretty stinking good job unless you're just trying to do stupid long range. Those hogs that you saw right there were about 125 yards. Did some coyotes a few years ago with an older cell phone, a little bit blurrier footage. That was right at around 200 yards away from where I actually had Michelle with me at that time. She was filming me walking up on these coyotes and shooting them. But nevertheless, cell phones have come a long way. And if you really want to know if self-filming is for you, start out by going to Walmart, buying you a little $20 tripod that has a phone clip with it, right? It comes with one of these, right? So you can put your cell phone in it and start filming your hunts with your cell phone. Edit your hunts on your cell phone. Figure out if this is actually going to be for you, because let me tell you what. All this equipment and all this gear that I have, and like I said, I'm not willing to say how much I have invested into this because it's stupid, because I didn't have anybody to tell me what I'm telling y'all right now. Start out cheap and work your way up. That's all there is to it. You're going to get stuck if you start out buying everything that you think you need. You're not just starting out with the bare minimum. If you just start buying random stuff, speaking from 7 years of experience here, you start buying random stuff that you think you need, you're going to be stuck with a closet full of stuff that you can't give away. Ask me how I know. All right, guys, that's my 2 cents on self-filming. Is it difficult? It certainly can be. Is it expensive? It certainly can be. And should you do it? My opinion, yes, you should. I think it's a great experience that everybody, every hunter or fisher should experience at least once or twice in their life. All right, guys, sorry for the long video. Love you guys. See y'all next time.